Alrighty guys, welcome. Thanks for joining me. This is your Untitled Chapter. We're going to try an actual live stream here and see if our internet doesn't work out okay. We've had a couple people out looking at it again. And they replaced the router. I was able to do a few test streams and everything seemed to go okay. So I thought I would actually do like a real live stream now. So this is Talisman, the Magical Quest game. This is the revised 4th edition of the game. So it's been out for a long time. 1st edition, 2nd edition, 3rd edition. Played this quite a few times and really wanted to get my hands back on this because I like this game a real lot. Just so you know, this is for one of my wargaming buddies, Rough Swordsman Wargamer. I know he does a lot of wargaming. He also does some non-wargame Wednesdays, and I know he was looking at Shadow of Brimstone that we were going to play on our channel here, and I thought he might like this game as well. It's a great family game. There is some competitive nature to it. You can, of course, play semi-cooperatively, and we're going to kind of go over gameplay, how to set things up, and just general information, and then we'll actually start playing the game so you can kind of understand the flow, what you got to do, and how things progress. So that's that. So the first thing you should know is if you get into Talisman, the Magical Quest board game, there is a lot of expansions for this game, and I mean a lot. So you have lots of variety, and I love games. I absolutely love games that give me a lot of variety in replayability and what characters to use. There's tons of different characters. There's tons of different expansions. We have several of the expansions already here. We have the where's my book? Where is it? I know it's here somewhere. Here it is. So we have the Highlands Expansion. Some of these actually are big expansions. Some are little expansions. And you can see when I'm talking about a big expansion, it'll actually add a board that you'll use, and you'll connect the board onto one of the corners on the outside. I don't actually have room to show you guys right now, but there's actually 4 big boards that you can connect to each of the different corners, and you can see it adds a whole bunch of new cards and new layouts and new things to do and new enemies to fight and all kinds of things. So this is the dungeon. So we have the dungeon expansion. We have the Highlands expansion. The Highlands expansion is just like the dungeon expansion, where you can actually go in, and I think this one starts down in this bottom corner down here actually, and you would disconnect it. It's hard to see unless I move the camera. It's hard to see, but it'll just snap into like the corner. You might be able to see it a little bit better. No, not really, because I don't have the camera up high enough. But yeah, it's so you got this one here, dungeon. This is the Highlands. There's also the Cataclysm, which is what I put all of the stuff in from all the expansions into just this box, the Cataclysm. And what the Cataclysm does is actually changes the main board. Completely revamps the main board as well. So we're not going to be playing with any of the expansions right now. I just wanted to kind of go over them. There are going to be big expansions, and then there's going to be just little expansions. The little expansions normally just add some new rules, maybe some characters to play with, some more cards. As you can see, there's tons and tons of cards to play with, and they might add, like the Reaper expansion adds the Reaper to the game. And so you might have the Reaper running around trying to kill all the players. So yeah, that should be fun as well. So let's talk about Talisman. So what do you do with Talisman? Well, with Talisman, each player is going to get a character. And each character has its own special abilities, its own special powers. And then what they're going to do is move them around the board, and you're going to try to get your character more and more powerful They start off with a certain amount of strength. So in this case, the warrior here would start off with 4 strength points. Right? Let's get all 4 red there. So he would start off with 4 red strength points. He would start off with a craft of 2. And he would start off with 5 life. Wow, that's huge. So he would start off with 5 life. 3, 4, 5. All right, so we would have those starting stats. He would start with a gold piece, and he would start with 1 fate point, and it then tells you if you are neutral, good, or evil. In this case, he is alignment of neutral, and he starts in the tavern. So you find the tavern, you find his character, and you would take the character and just put him over there and start in the tavern. Unfortunately, all my characters, I've put them through the ringer here and started. I was gonna paint them all, and now I look at it and go, oh my god, this is gonna take forever to try and paint all these characters. So I don't know if I'm actually gonna paint them. I might just paint them all one color. You know, make one guy red, another guy green, purple, yellow, whatever. Because, man, it would take forever to paint all these guys. Holy cow. I started painting some of the other minis, and, man, it's just turned into a thing. So, anyways, you start your little mini. It tells you all the information about your starting character. And then what you're going to do is you're going to travel around the board. You're going to have encounters. You can see there's a whole huge stack of deck of encounters. And things that you would encounter would be an event. Events sometimes are good, sometimes they're bad. You might find enemies. You might find followers. You might find items. You might find all kinds of different things in here. And so monsters and enemies, you can turn those in to make your stats go up, which we'll show you when we actually get it around to playing. But this is how you make your character bigger and better, and you get better equipment, and you get better items, and you get better spells, and you're trying to, it's kind of like a mini race. So you're trying to race. So let me just slide this stuff off the board here. So the object of the game is very simple. And we're going to talk about the basic rules because there is some advanced rules, which we'll talk about in a minute. But this is the basic game with the basic setup. What you're going to do is each player is going to get a character, and it's basically a mini race to get to the Crown of Command, which is in the middle of the board. And once you get to the Crown of Command, every turn you automatically cast a spell that'll take damage on all of your opponents. And they can't heal, and if they're killed, they're permanently removed from the game. So you're basically going to the Crown of Command, racing to get there, and then once you're there, you're hoping to whittle down your opponents until they all die. And that's kind of the general gist. So you start on the outside of the board somewhere, depending on where your character is. And you're going to spend some time moving around the board and encountering things as you go around. And hopefully you kill some monsters, you find some items, you find some spells, you find some gold so you can buy some better equipment. There's all kinds of equipment here. There's shields and swords, water bottles, armor, mules, raft, axes, helmets. Let's see, I think that's about everything. But these are just like the generic normal items. And they'll give you different stats and make your things better or harder to kill. You know, armor will prevent you from taking a wound and taking damage. Sword will increase your attack values. Water bottle will allow you to not take damage when you're in the desert. The mule lets you carry extra things. So, I mean, there's all kinds of different strategies involved with Talisman. So what you're trying to do is go around the outside of the board. And Eventually, what you want to do is create your powerful enough character that you can start to go towards the middle of the board. And the way you move, very simply, is whatever space you're on, you roll a 6-sided dice. And if you roll a 1, you can either move this space or this space. So you have a choice between these two spaces. If you roll, say, let's try something other than a 1. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can go here. Or 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or you can go here. So you decide where you want to go as you move. And then you see it says draw a card. So you would draw an adventure card. And hopefully it's something good or an enemy you can kill. And then you would get the rewards and make yourself more powerful. Eventually what you want to try to do is get into the center or the middle board here. And this is a little bit tougher. And there's 2 ways to do that. Well, I shouldn't say there's 2 main ways to do that. There is multiple ways of doing it. Like you might encounter something on one of the encounter cards and it might say something like, oh, a ghost teleports you to the temple. Well, the temple is on the inside of the board. So that's one way that it could happen. But normally, there's 2 ways that you can do it. Number 1 is to build a raft. You can buy or build a raft. And if you build a raft, then you can sail from one location across the river to the other location. And then you lose your raft. So it's like a one-time deal. So you build a raft and you can sail across and get across. So that's one way you can do it. The other way, and the main way you can do it, is you end up here and you have to cross this bridge. There's a bridge here. And you end up going into this area. So if I was here and for my movement, I can move 3 spaces. So I can go 1, 2, 3. But once to go across the bridge, I have to fight the Sentinel. So the Sentinel has a strength of 9. Strength of 9. So when you fight him, if you have lower strength than him, he has an advantage in defeating you. So if you had, say, a 10 strength, then you would have the advantage on beating him. So you can see, as we talked about in the beginning, the warrior, he has a strength of 4. So if the warrior was going to go right up and try to fight this guy right off the bat, he doesn't stand a very good chance of winning at all. So it would be kind of dumb for him to do that because he would then end up losing some of his life. Life is very precious because when you have 0 life, you is dead. D-E-A-D, dead. Now, in the base game, when you are killed, you then start. The player is never out of the game until someone reaches the crown of command and casts the spell. And in that case, if your character dies, then you're done. You're out. But in the normal, before someone's at the crown of command, if somebody kills your character, you just start over the next turn with a brand new character. But you would start over with a brand new character, which doesn't have very good stats. He doesn't have any items. He doesn't have anything to help him. And you're kind of way behind. Again, this is kind of a race game. So if you're 6 steps forward and someone kills you, you're all the way back to the beginning. And then you have to take these 6 steps back again. So it's being part of the race. You're way behind in the race. Can't mean that it can't be done. It just means that it's going to be a little bit harder for you to make that jump quicklier as all the other players. So the 2 ways to get across is build a raft, and you can go across any location. I was just pointing there because it's easy. You can be here and go to there, or you can be here and go to there, or you can be here and go to there. You can be here and go to there. So you build a raft, you can go across the river. Or you can come over here, and you can come across, and you have to fight the Sentinel. If you can't beat the Sentinel, then you can't get across. So the way to beat the Sentinel is with strength. So let's look at our main stats again. Oops, our main stats. All right, so let's look at our main stats. So you have strength. Strength is your physical combat abilities, how strong you are. The warrior starts with 4. The priest always starts with 2. The wizard starts with 2. The assassin starts with 3. The monk starts with 2. The druid starts with 2. The dwarf starts with 3. The elf starts with 3. So you can see the higher your strength, the better kind of you are at fighting things with swords and axes and stuff like that. So that's the first stat, and that's red for some reason. And then craft is like psychic mind. Think of it as like magic psychic damage. All right, it's kind of you know, like for wizards and clerics and priests and stuff. So you can see a priest starts with 2 strength, but 4 craft. So he's much better at like mind and magic type stuff. So that's your second main stat. Then of course you have life, and the priest here has a life of 4. The warrior starts with the life of 5. Again, if you're ever removed to 0, then you're out of the game, or that character's out of the game, and you're going to have to start over with a new character, unless somebody's at the Crown of Command. If someone's at the Crown of Command, then again, you're out.
Sorry, I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. It looks like a router issue, so try restarting it. Unplug the router, wait 10 seconds,
Alexa,
and plug it back in.
Alexa, shh. Alexa, she's talking to me here. So you have strength, the swords and combat and fighting enemies. You have kind of magic, psychic damage. They call it psychic, but I just call it magic because it makes more sense. It's like mind magic abilities. Then you have your life. Then you have gold, and the gold obviously is to buy items like a shield. You can buy a shield, it costs 3 gold. If you want to buy a sword, it costs 5 gold. You want to buy a water bottle, it costs 5 gold. If you want to buy armor, nope, hang on a second. I'm thinking the values. Oh, that just might tell you how many there are in the deck, I bet you, is what that is. Yes, I believe you can only buy these at certain locations. I believe the city is one of the locations. Oh, the village. Yeah, the village and the city, you can buy these, and it tells you how much. So the helmet's 2 gold, the sword is 2 gold, the axe is 3 gold, the shield is 3 gold, and the armor is 4 gold. And the mule, I think you have to get somewhere else. I'm gonna have to try to remember that. I'm not 100% sure. You might have to just maybe the city has the mule then. Let's see. I forget. I'll have to look it up. But that's your general gist. Is these are the items that cost you a certain amount of gold. Sometimes you can do things with your gold, like heal yourself at the temple or the chapel, in this case. Or you might be able to spend your gold. There's lots of different things you can spend your gold on. So you know what gold is. And last but not least is fate points. So you have a certain amount of fate points. And each fate point allows you to re-roll your die. Not re-roll your opponent's die. You can't do that. But what you can do is when you're in combat with somebody, and let's say you roll a 1 and they roll like a 6 and you want to re-roll because you really need to win this combat or you're going to lose. So you want to spend your fate point and then you get your 3. You can only do it once. You can't just keep spending fate point to re-roll. You can only do that once. But it's definitely worth, keeping your faith points and using them at the best of times when it looks like all danger is coming. So there's lots of different items you can pick up and get along the way. And these are your main stats, and each character has their own main stats. And again, what you want to do is you want to try to make yourself better, get more strength, The big ones are worth 5. I know it's hard for you to see because you're looking straight down on it, but let's say that's a 9 strength now. And, you know, maybe somewhere along the line he got a 5 points in that. So he's got 9 strength and 7 craft. So that might be time to cross the bridge and start going through the second area. So what you want to do there is the same thing. You're going to encounter the different areas. And then you want to get to this one, which is the Portal of Power. So you have to defeat the Portal of Power to get through the Portal of Power. And then you want to work your way over to the Crown of Command here in the center. And you can take one of 2 paths. When you make it through the Portal of Power, you'll end up here. And you can either go this way, down this path, to here, and then you're at the footsteps of it. And this is what they call the craft pass, because craft, so if you have a higher craft, you usually want to go this way, because most of the things have to do with crafting. Or you can go this way, and this is the strength path, and it's the exact same distance, same amount of spaces to get over there, but you would follow and do different strength type events, and eventually you'll end up there. Once you end up there, you'll end up going into the Crown of Command. Now, you can only do this if you have a special item. Oh, yes. It has to be a special item, of course. And we're going to switch you guys over to this one. You need a talisman. So there's a special talisman card thingy. See if I can focus in. This camera is. But you need a talisman before you can activate the Crown of Command. Hey, Tony, how you doing, buddy? So, you need to adventure around, and your object is to find a talisman. So you can't do anything. You can't win if you never get a talisman. There's many, many different ways you can get a talisman. Some of them, there's a couple in the deck. Random deck. Sometimes there'll be an encounter and it'll say if you win this encounter, then you get a talisman. There's all kinds of different ways to do it. I can't just say, well, this is the only way or this is how you get a talisman. You'll just come across it, or you can find one while you're adventuring, or you'll just luckily happen across one. And you'll see as we go through some gameplay example. Tribe Fan 879 and Tony's Board Life. Thanks for coming out, guys. I appreciate it. Hopefully you guys can let me know if the stream is running without any issues. I've been having some internet issues. They just replaced the router tonight. So I wanted to do a live stream and check out. It looks like I'm not losing any packets. So hopefully you guys will let me know everything is going along well. So, you have to get a talisman, okay? You have to find a talisman. Let's see if I can. Once you have a talisman, you may only enter the Valley of Fire if you have one of the fabled talismans. So, you can't enter into the Valley of Fire. I'm sorry, the Valley of Fire is this space. So you can make it here, you can go in here, and you can start your path, but you can't enter in the Valley of Fire, which is the last space before the Crown of Command, if you don't have a talisman. So you have to find a talisman, and I think there's just a couple of them. I think there's just 4 talismans. So if you're playing with, say, 5 or 6 people, not everyone is going to get a talisman, right? So, again, we're talking about basic rules. The advanced rules, and this is super cool, is a lot of the expansions change what happens when you reach the Crown of Command. Sometimes you'll have to do other things than just cast the spell. Sometimes you might have to fight somebody, and if you win the fight, then you just win the Crown of Command and the game is over. Or let's see if I can get an example for you guys here. Again, these don't come in the base game, but they do come in a lot of the expansions. And of course, this makes the replayability go up because you can play with the same characters, the same everything. And you can see there is a whole bunch of different rules that you can use for the Crown of Command. So when you reach the Crown of Command, instead, the Eagle King is there. You have to fight the Eagle King. And once you remove the last Eagle King's life, he has 4 life. When you defeat him 4 times, the game is over and you win. Whoever gets the killing blow wins. So if you're killing him, another character ends up showing up and then gets the last kill, then they would win the game. So the Eagle King. So that's one way to play. Battle Royale. Everyone only has 1 life. And you have to go fight one another, and whoever's the last man standing wins, basically, is Battle Royale. Hand of Doom. The character on the Crown of Command rolls a die for each character. And on a 1, they're killed. On a 2, they lose a life. On a 3, you choose a character. That character is killed. On a 6, all characters are killed. And you win the game. So the Hand of Doom. So you can play with all kinds of different rules once you reach the Crown of Command. And of course, you have tons and tons of more characters. You get Valkyrie, the Highlander, the Alchemist, the Rogue, the Vampirist, the Sprite, Barbarian, Arcane Scone, the Black Knight, the Mutant, the Scavenger, the Amazon. Again, these are all cards you would get in some of the expansions. I've got 3 of the big expansions, and I've got a whole bunch of the little ones showing up this week, but I didn't want to use them until we played at least 1 base game so we can show Tony's board life how to play. So let's just show you the basic flow of the game. So the warrior here starts in the tavern. The tavern is over here, and I'm gonna bring out the monk here, and just to give you guys a little bit of example. Now you wouldn't put your character cards in the middle, but I'm just limited on space. So what I'm going to do is just leave them in the middle right now so you guys can see them. Normally you'd keep them off the side of the board. And that's because a lot of these cards will end up coming on different spaces and stuff. So you need room here. But just for our practice, we're not going to probably make it in the middle. So I'm just going to just use that space up just to show you guys what you do and how you do things. All right, so he's going to get his there, and then he's going to get some life. Let's give him 4 life, and he starts with the gold piece as well, and he starts with 5 faith. Of course he does. He's the priest. Right. And all right, and he starts in the chapel, and he is good. So let's see if we have a priest. Again, I've got all my I spray painted my figurines over the weekend here since I couldn't get on the internet, and I was going to start painting them all, but oh my god, what a mistake that might have been. Because it would literally hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of time to do that. So, instead, what we're going to do is use my D&D figures. Because they're already pre-painted. Look at that, huh? Huh. So, he starts in the chapel. So, he starts there. All right. And so we got our characters. All right, so each character also has a special ability. So let's look at their special abilities. Let's talk about the warrior. All right, so whenever you encounter something, what you're going to do is you're going to roll a die and add either your strength or your craft to it. Let's get this give this guy back his normal value here, so he's not cheating. We don't want him cheating. So, like, let's say the warrior was fighting. Let's just get an example here. All right, he's fighting. Let's say the warrior was moving around the board and landing on a space. It says to draw a card. He draws the lion. All right. So how does combat work? Very simple. The enemy will tell you whether you're going to use strength or you're going to use craft. So in this case, the lion has a strength of 3. Okay. So the warrior has got a strength of 4. So the warrior is going to roll a die and add 4, whatever his strength value is. And the lion is going to roll a die and add his strength value. Whoever rolls higher wins. If it's a tie, then it's a push. Nobody wins and nobody loses. And a lot of times, there's special text on the cards. So let's show you what a card looks like here. If I can get this thing to focus at all. It does not want to do a up close, so I will just read it to you. Strength of 3. A lion is preying in everything in this area and will remain here until it's killed. Okay, so let's say the character was here. So he's going to fight a lion. So he would roll a die and add 4. So he rolls a 3 and 4 and gets 7. The lion has a 3 and rolls a 3, and that is 6. So it's 7-6, and the warrior wins. So he kills the lion and takes this as a trophy. So what you do with your trophies is when you have 7 points of trophy. Oops, I gotta switch you guys back over. When you have 7 points of trophy in either strength or craft, you can turn those in for +1 to your strength or craft. So if he had another enemy that had a strength of 4, he could turn the lion and that enemy in, and he would get 1 point of strength. So you'd go up from 4 to 5. Very simple. So you want to find enemies, you want to kill them, because then you can keep them and turn them in to make yourself bigger and better and stronger. So that's the general gist of combat. Movement, like I said in the beginning, very simple. You're going to roll a die. And very easy, like Monopoly board. It's actually, even though it's a rectangle, it's 6 by 6 all the way around the board. So if you roll a 6, you're going to go to one corner or the other corner. All right, so you can either go here or you can end up going right here. If you start up there, which is where the warrior starts. If you roll, say, a 3, right, it's going to be 1, 2, 3. He's going to end up here, or he's going to end up here. Each one of these locations will tell you what to do. Oh, so there's 2 things that can happen. All right. Let's say it's the priest's turn, and the priest rolls a 2. All right. So it's the priest's turn, and he rolls a 2, which means he can go either here or he can go here. Now, if he goes here, he can do one of 2 things. He can either encounter the area, all right, and ignore the character, or he can encounter the character and have a fight and ignore the area. And combat works between players the same way. But whoever's initiating the combat will decide if it's craft or strength. So obviously the priest has an advantage in craft. So if the priest moves over here, he would choose craft to fight as opposed to strength, because the warrior. Now if say it's the warrior's turn, if the warrior moved over here, then the warrior could say, we're going to fight with strength. When you defeat an enemy, or when you defeat another character, you can do one of 2 things. You can either take one of their life away, so one of their hit points. So let's say the warrior moves over there and kills the priest, he would lose one of his hit points. Or you can take one of their objects from them. So if he's got, if the priest has like a sword or something, or he has a talisman, remember those talismans, right? He could take the talisman from him. So if the priest had the talisman, the warrior, if it was his turn, he rolled a 2, he could go and land on that character and then fight him and then take his talisman if he wins the fight. So that's how that works. And you have to move exactly as far as you roll. So if the warrior is here and he rolls, say, a 3, he can't just go 1, 2 and stop. He's got to go 3. He's got to go all the way there, or he's got to go all the way there. So you go as far as you roll. All right, so let's talk about special abilities. Because most characters that have special abilities break every rule that I just talked about. So, the warrior's special ability, you may roll 2 dice in battle and use the higher attack roll to determine your attack score. So, whenever the warrior fights, instead of rolling 1 die, he rolls 2 dice. And use the higher attack value roll to determine your... There you go. And so he would use the 3 as opposed to the 2. So, and he can use 2 weapons at the same time. That's another one of his special abilities. Normally you can only use 1 weapon at a time. The warrior, he can use 2 weapons. So, good for him, huh? Nice. All right, let's talk about the monk. Let's see what the monk's special abilities are. So as we're moving around. He begins the game with the spell. We didn't talk about spells, but there is a bunch of different spells. And you have to have a certain value of craft to be able to hold a spell or to cast a spell. So we're just going to shuffle these up and give him a look at and see what spell he's got. All right, and we'll just cut it. There we go. And so the priest is going to... Now, he wouldn't show this. If you're playing multiplayer, you'd put this down so your opponent doesn't know what spell you have. If the warrior and the priest were to fight and the warrior beat the priest, he couldn't take a spell. You can't take a spell. You can only take objects from enemies. So in this case, he's got a spell. Okay, so he's got a spell. We're going to just put that over here on the side for now. He'll use that maybe later. And you can only have a certain number of spells equal to half of your craft value, I think it is. So since he's got a craft value of 4, he can only hold 2 spells, I believe. So he begins the game with the spell. After rolling the die, when praying, you may add 1 to the score. So at the chapel... one of the things you can do is pray, no, I'm sorry. Is that it is? I don't think you can actually pray at the temple. You got to go at the. Oh, that's the chapel. I think at the temple is where you pray, isn't it? Yeah, pray. So if he goes to the temple, which is going to be on the inside, but if he goes there, he can add 1 to his dice roll on the little chart here. And we'll kind of show you that here in a minute. You may choose to automatically destroy any spirits without resorting to psychic combat. When you destroy a spirit in this manner, you may keep the enemy as a trophy, but you may not keep the enemy as a trophy, but you may gain 1 spell. And you may not use any weapons during combat. So that's what the priest does. That's what the warriors do. Like I said, they mostly change and alter everything that we talked about. We're going to go ahead and show you some example of play. We'll roll for the priest over here. We'll roll for the warrior over here. Whoever rolls higher goes first. The priest goes first. So let's see what happens. So priest is up. Let's show you how some gameplay actually plays. So again, trying to get our characters stronger, better. And we rolled a 6. So again, even though it's a rectangular board, it is 6 by 6. So I know that I'm going to go either here or I'm going to go here. So down here's the village. If he had some money, he can buy some things. He could also visit the healer. Or he can also visit the Mystic. Up here is the Doctor, the Alchemist, and he can roll for... it's hard to read upside down. Oh, the Enchantress, right. I couldn't read her because her text is really small, but it's the Enchantress. So let's shuffle up this. And I think what the priest will do is he will come over here down to the village because he starts here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He doesn't have enough money to buy anything really at the blacksmith. He doesn't need to heal, but he can visit the Mystic. So he will encounter the space because there's nothing else to do. You can't fight it. There's no other characters there to encounter. So he has to encounter the space. The space will tell you what to do on every single space. You don't have to, it's not a decision. It'll tell you what you need to do. All right? So, encounter deck. We will put the encounter deck just in the middle of the board here. Again, you wouldn't normally do this, but just for space and ease of play. You know what? I will actually not do that. I will put it over here because it'd be by the other camera. Maybe I can show you some stuff. But I'm just shuffling it up, making sure everything's nice and shuffled. Whiskey Charlie's done. Okay. I was watching for a long time, and then I decided to jump on and do a test stream. So thanks for coming over, Wardrobe. Appreciate it, man. All right, so we'll just keep the encounter deck there. So he's going to encounter the space. The space doesn't tell him to draw an encounter card, right? So he just got to do either visit the blacksmith, visit the healer, or visit the Mystic. He's going to visit the Mystic, and he's going to roll a die. And there's like a little chart on the board over here. Let's see if I can I stretch this over here to show you guys? Let's see. So, over there on the side is the Mystic. I know this camera sucks and I apologize. But there's like a little chart he's going to roll on. So, I'll just tell you what it says. This is not the best camera. This is I need to get me a decent second camera. All right, so he's going to roll on the chart. Let's see what he gets. He rolls a 2, which is not great. Usually you want to roll high. He is ignored. So he talks to the Mystic, but she just ignores him. Nothing happens. Nothing good, nothing bad. So that's his turn. He's done. He moved. He encountered. He finished his turn. So he's done. So now we go to the warrior. Now the warrior rolls a die for his movement. 6 again. So, So we know the warrior, again, even though this is a rectangular board, these spaces are a lot bigger. It's 6 by 6. So if you're in the corner, just like Monopoly, you know you can make it down here or you can make it over here. So the question is, does the warrior want to come fight the priest? Is there any advantage to that? He doesn't have anything to take. He could do a wound to him. Is that important this early in the game? Not really. It doesn't really benefit him. It might, knock him down 1 health. Is that really going to be that great? Not really. So he's just, this early in the game, you don't normally find enemies fighting one another or players fighting one another because there's not really any advantage. What you want to do, again, this is a racing game. You're trying to get your character bigger and better and powerful the fastest you can so you can enter in here. If you're not gaining something every turn, you're not taking the next step forward. So you always want to take that next step forward to make your character better. He can also come visit the Mystic, the healer, the blacksmith. Again, he only starts with 1 gold too. So, and the doctor he doesn't need. The Enchantress, he could lose his strength, he could gain his strength, he could gain a craft, he could gain his spell. Yeah, these 6s are not great in the beginning. What you want to do is land on these spaces, because these are where you're going to have the encounters. And that's where the meat of the game is right now, is you want to get these encounters because you want to try and find good items and good enemies to kill and take advantage of making your character better and more powerful. Right now, these and early in the game is not as important because there's not much to do with them. He will come over. You know what? He will come to the village as well. So we have both characters down here in the corner. I know it's hard to see, especially with my microphone right over it, but and he will again, he could visit the blacksmith, but he doesn't have enough money to buy anything good. Armor costs 4, shield costs 3, axe costs 3, a sword costs 2, and a helmet costs 2. He only has 1 gold. He could visit the healer to heal up some life, but again, he's at full health. And so he will visit the mystic and roll a die and see what happens at the mystic. 4 is he becomes good, actually. So instead of neutral, he actually becomes good. And that's where I think these actually are the tokens. These are not, I don't think these are fate. I don't believe. So he is also good. So we have 2 good characters because your alignment and your everything will change. So where is the fate point tokens? That is a great question. What do you use for fate tokens? Well, let's see. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, those are fate tokens. Okay. So how do you keep track of your alignment then? These are the photo. I was right. These are the fate tokens. I guess 1, 2, 3, 4. He starts with 5. He starts with 1. So those are fate tokens. How do you keep track? The tokens have 2 different appearances. This makes no difference in the core game. Maybe some of the rules change in some of the expansions then. So how do you keep track of your alignments? Coins. Oh, alignment cards. Okay. That's what those were. So you have talismans, which are, we talked about talismans, but you also have alignment cards. Evil and good. And if you're neutral, obviously you don't get a card. So the warrior is now good. And the priest is good. So we'll give them each an alignment card. Because you must keep track of your alignment because things will happen that will be like, oh, if a good character goes here, he does this. If a bad character, like the graveyard. If you end up on the graveyard, you lose a life. If you're good. If you're evil, then you replenish faith. You roll a die and just see how much faith you... you either replenish all your fate for free, or you pray and you can gain fate or gain a spell. Most likely you won't do that, but okay. All right, so that's the warrior's turn. So we're back over to the priest. So the priest's turn. Let's see what he does. 5. Okay, so he's going to end up here or here because he's in the corner. So here he's going to draw a card. Nothing, no other special thing. Over here, draw a card. So it doesn't really matter. he will come back this way towards the chapel. He likes the chapel for whatever reason because he's a priest. So he's going to draw a card. So this will be the first time we actually get to see a card drawn. All right, so we have a bear. Oh boy. A ferocious bear is running amok in this area. It will remain here until it's killed. All right, so the strength of 3. He must encounter this now. He has no choice. He must encounter this. And then he has a strength of 3. The priest has a strength of 2. So the priest will roll. Ooh, a 6. Good for him. The bear will roll a 4. So 6 plus 2 is 8. 3 plus 4 is 7. The priest defeats the bear. 8 versus 7. Very simple. Not very complex. He takes this as a trophy, which he can then turn in later on. So the priest has now got 3. Again, you need 7 points of strength or craft. You turn them in to get your stats up. So he's 3 of 7 now, and his turn's done. So we go to the warrior. Let's see what the warrior does. 2. So he can come to the graveyard, which would be bad because he's good now. And he would lose a life. So he's going to go 1, 2. He's going to go into the forest. And he's going to roll a die. So he's going to roll a die. And he rolls a 3. And that is going to be... I got to move my microphone so I can read this. You're lost. Lose your next turn. So he loses himself in the forest. He's lost. So what I like to do to show that he's lost his turn is he goes, lay his token down. Next turn, all we do is stand him up. And then that's all he does. And then that's to show that he lost his turn. All right. So and losing your turn doesn't sound like a big deal. But again, every turn you're trying to make your character better because it's a race. The farther you can get ahead of your opponents because you're doing things to make yourself better, the better you are going to have. All right, so back to the priest. He rolls a 1, so he can go back here or he can come here. So he can come here and try to fight this. Do not draw a card if there's already one in the space. If you're okay, so that talks about if you're crossing a bridge. He's not crossing it. So he will draw a card. Again, he will draw an encounter card. Let's see what he does. This time, finds a bag of gold. Exchange immediately 1 gold. So he finds simply a bag of gold. So he's going to gain 1 gold. So now he has 2 gold. All right. And so now it's over to the warrior. The warrior just stands up because he lost his turn. We're back to the priest. The priest goes 3. 1, 2, 3. Go to the fields. 1, 2, 3. Go to the fields. He will 1, 2, 3. Just stay away from the fighter or the warrior. Just stay away from him. So he will draw a card. Blah blah blah. He will draw a card. So he will encounter the space, and he finds a guide. You do not need to roll the die in the chasms, the crags, or the forest unless you wish to. If you choose to roll, you must accept it. So the guide will help him get through the crags, which is here. The chasm. Where's the chasm? The chasm, we already saw the forest. The chasm, I think, is, where's the chasm? Where's the chasm? The crags, the hills, the woods, somewhere is the, here's the chasm. Right there's the chasm. So because of the guide, he doesn't have to roll on this little chart or this little chart or the little forest chart if he doesn't want to. He might want to, but he doesn't have to because he's got a follower, the guide. All right, back over to the warrior's turn. So you can see once you get going, the gameplay picks up really fast here. So 1, 2, 3, you can go to the fields. 1, 2, 3, you can go to the fields. Either the fields or the fields. He'll come this way to the fields, and he will draw his very first card, actually. Axe. All right, so he's got an axe. He adds 1 to the strength during battle. So when he's fighting something, he's going to add 1 to his strength for the axe. And remember, his special ability is he can use 2 weapons. So if he could another weapon, that'd be good. Oh, you may also build a raft when you are in the woods or the forest. So if he's in the woods, or the woods, or the woods, or the forest, then he could build a raft and sail across with the axe. All right, so we're back over to the priest's turn. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. He can go to the woods. 1, 2, 3, 4. He can go to the fields. He's going to go to the fields and draw a card. Oh, it's a wolf. The vicious wolf is dwelling in this area or remain here until it's killed. So it's got a strength of 2. So the priest, he has to encounter it. Doesn't have a choice. He can't just ignore it. There's certain characters that can ignore certain things, but he doesn't have any special powers. He's just normal priest, so he will... just trying to remember what his powers are. It's not a spirit, so it's an animal and an enemy. Enemy animal, yeah. So he will have to fight it with strength. His weak suit, so he's hoping to kill it. So the priest rolls a 5. The wolf rolls a 2. So he's got 2 plus 2 is 4. The priest has 5 plus 2 is 7. That is enough to kill the wolf. He will take this as a trophy again. So now he has 3 plus 2. He's got 5 of 7 to get his strength up. He's defeated a bear and a wolf so far. Good for him. All right, warrior. Where are you, warrior? Let's get a die. Let's roll this sucker for the warrior now. 2. He can go to the woods or he can go back to the village. He will go to the woods and draw a card. And he finds 2 bags of gold. Exchange immediately for 2 bags of gold. So he found some nice location there. And he's got 3 gold now. So he could actually go back to the village now and buy a shield or another axe or a sword or a helmet. If he had 4 gold, he could buy armor. All right, over to the ad. So he's a little bit stronger now because he started with 4 strength. He's up to 5. He's starting to get stronger because he's trying to get enough value so he can turn those in, which you'll hopefully see here soon. He rolls a 1. So he can go to the woods or he can go to the city. The city doesn't need the doctor. The alchemist or the enchantress. He's going to go to the woods. Then, you know what? No. He's going to go to the city. He's going to encounter the enchantress. So he's going to roll a die. A 1, which is the worst result, which would turn him into a toad. So he is going to spend one of his fate points to re-roll that. Because turning himself into a toad, he would lose all his items. And he would be very vulnerable. He would only have 1 strength, 1 craft, and 1 hit point for 3 turns before he's turned back. So he does not want to be a wolf or a toad. 2, well, that's almost as bad, but it's... So he loses 1 strength. Wow. So I believe you can't go lower than your starting, I believe, when you lose something. Let's just double check that. Yeah, so a character strength can never drop lower than the character's starting value. So he hasn't gone up any. He started with 2, so he can't go lower than that. So even though it tells him to lose strength, he can't lose strength. So that's his turn, though. So he didn't get any good thing, but he didn't die. So that's not a bad thing. Private Public, what's going on? He's taking me back to my youth. Still have my old copy. Yeah, this is a great game. We're going to be playing this a lot because I've got a lot of expansions coming. All right, back to the Warrior's turn to Warrior. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He can go to the Crags, which is not great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go back to the Forest. So either one of these is kind of a bad location. So he'll go back to the Forest, and he'll roll on the Forest chart over there. Let's see what he gets. 5. That's not too bad, I don't think. Safe. He's just safe. Nothing happens. He doesn't lose a turn. He's just nothing good. All right, back to the Priest. Actually, you know what? Oh, crapple. I'll just move this camera for a minute then. So, whoa. Again, you would normally not have your characters in the middle of the table like this, but just for space and ease of use, I'm just going to keep them in the middle until, somebody needs to make it to the middle. So, and then our encounter cards, you would normally keep these off to the side, but so I can roll dice for you guys a little easier. We're going to bring this over here. And these guys will just, you don't use these very often, so we'll just keep these over here a little bit. You use your encounter cards quite a bit, as you can see. All right, so where are we now? So, Priest, move 6. So you can go back to the chapel, or you can go to the tavern. The tavern, you roll a die, and there's all kinds of different things that can happen over there. He's going to go back to the chapel, and he's going to try to, since he's a good character, he's going to roll on the chapel and see what happens. Nothing. So, if he would have rolled a 5, he would have gained a life, and 6, he would gain a spell. So he was hoping to gain something, he didn't. So the priests were all busy, didn't have a chance to help him out. All right, where is there's our warrior over there. Oops. Of course, I tried to put it in there, and I missed. 3. 1, 2, 3. You can go to the fields. 1, 2, 3. You can go to the fields. So I'll just over here it's easier for me, so he's going to go there. And we're going to draw a card because it says draw a card. Hey, look, he's got to fight the lion. All right. So the warrior, because of his special ability, he gets to roll 2 dice and choose the better of the 2. Plus, he'll throw in an axe, so he gets a +1. So he's got a 4, +1 is 5. And he'll take the 5, so he's got a total of 10. The lion has a strength of 3. +1 is 4, so he definitely defeats the lion. And he will take the lion as a trophy for his hard work. So that'll make him, again, once he gets 7 points worth of strength, he can turn him in to make his strength go up. All right, back to the priests. 5, so you can go to the fields. You could actually land on this guy and fight him if you wanted to. Again, why would you want to do that? There might be advantages if the character had something you might want to steal from him. He's got an axe, but again, he can't even use weapons. So there's no sense in him going and fighting there. So he's going to go here and draw a card. So we just draw a card. And why are these all upside down? Let's turn this around so I don't need to. An ogre. It's got a strength of 5. All right, so the priest has to encounter him. Again, he has to use strength. So priest rolls a 5. The ogre rolls a 2. So the priest is 5 plus 2 is 7. The ogre is 5 strength plus a roll of 2 is 7. So this is a push. He doesn't defeat the ogre doesn't defeat him, but the ogre will then stay in that space. So if somebody comes over here to fight the ogre or lands on this space, they won't draw a card. What they'll do is they'll fight the ogre. So that ogre will stay in that spot. All right, back to the warrior 5. So you can go to the chapel, trying to gain a life, gain some spell. Could heal all of his life, but he doesn't have to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so he's going to go to the ruins. All right, and you can see this one's a little bit different. It says draw 2 cards. So we're drawing 2 cards. So this can be twice as easy or twice as bad, but it gives you a chance to get a step up on your competition. Well, he got a bag of gold, and he got a unicorn. So there are little numbers down in the corner that will tell you what order you need to encounter these in, because if you fail an encounter, your turn is over. Fortunately for him, they are both 5, so he can encounter them in any order he wants. He will take the bag of gold and get himself a gold. Now, he's got 4 gold. He might want to make it back over to the blacksmith, buy some armor. He also gets a unicorn as a follower. Add 1 to your strength and 1 to your craft. So, he's got strength of 4, plus 1 for the axe is 5, plus 1 for the unicorn. He's 6 already. Ooh, nice. All right, back to the priest. 2. So he can go here to the plains and draw, or he can go to the fields and draw. He'll go to the fields and draw a card. Uh-oh, we got an event. It's a storm. The storm sweeps through this region. All the characters in this region must miss 1 turn. The storm then abates to the discard pile. So, he will miss the turn, and he will miss the turn, because this is an area. This is the outside area. This is another area. This is the middle region. This is another area. So there's 3 different regions on this map. If you start playing with some of the expansions, you're going to have multiple boards attached to this. So you can have multiple regions. So all characters are going to miss a turn. So he will miss his turn. He'll just stand back up. The priest is going to miss his turn to stand back up. And then this will just go away. And then it'll be back over to the warrior. And the warrior's turn. 1, he can go to the plains or he can go to the fields. Well, we'll go to the plains and draw a card. Another bag of gold. The warrior is rich beyond belief right now. He could actually buy a sword and a shield with 5 gold. Oof, that would be interesting. All right, back to the priest here. Oh, wait. I want to remember what his spell was before I roll here. Sometimes you need to cue these up. Right. Yeah, he's going to hold on to that. So no sense. So he will roll for his movement. 3. So 1, 2, 3. You can go here, or 1, 2, 3. Woods or woods? Which woods? Let's go there. And draw an encounter. It's a lemur. It's a craft of 1, so we're going to be fighting craft this time. The priest likes that. This lonely creature from the underworld pounces at you from the shadows. It will remain here until it's killed. All right, so the priest will roll a 1, and the lemur will roll a 1. So the totals are 4. Oops. Let's put these up. Let's put these, I don't know. Where should we put them? We'll put those there. That's fine. So the priest rolls 4, plus 1 is 5. The Lemure craft of 1, plus 1 is 2. So the priest wins, and he takes this as a trophy. Now, this is a craft of 1. These are strength of 1. You can't combine them to get your 7. So it has to be 7 in craft or 7 or more in strength. So normally you want to have 2 different piles going on. All right. So that was the priest's turn. Let's go to the warrior. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. He can go to the. Yeah, he's going to come back to the fields. He wants to land in the village, but and he will draw a card because it says draw a card. Mercenary. It's a fowler. Whoa, let's read this one. If you want the mercenary, you as a fowler pay 1 gold. If not, he waits here for the character willing to pay for him. While he is your fowler, he will add 3 to your strength in battle until the end of the turn, provided you pay 1 gold. You may only pay 1 gold once per turn. So the longer you keep him around, the more money he costs. But for the warrior, that is fine. So he doesn't have to take him. He can leave him here, but he's going to take him. He does have to pay a gold. And then if he wants to use his services, it costs 1 gold, but it'll add 3 strength. So that seems like a pretty good deal. All right, back over to the. So it's reality. He's got 4 strength, plus 1 for the X is 5, plus 1 for the unicorn is 6, and then he could pay a gold to make it 9 strength. He's getting a little crazy out of control here, Mr. Warrior Man. Let's see what the priest can do. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can go to the ruins and draw 2 cards. 1, 2. You can go back to the city. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to go back to the city. He's going to roll on the Enchantress table 4. Gain 1 craft. Well, that's right up his alley. So, that's not a craft. Let's try that again, buddy. That's a craft. So he's now up to 5 crafts. So he's getting very crafty. Little talisman humor there for you guys. All right, back to the warrior. 1, yes. He's gonna. Oh well. Now that he's got the mercenary, does he want to spend all his gold? That is a great question. Now let's look at these items again. So we know what the axe does, right? The helmet. Whenever you take damage, you roll a die, and if you roll a 6, you don't take the damage. The mule. You can't buy the mule. The armor. Anytime you take a life damage, you roll 4, 5, or 6, and it protects you. The sword, the shield is a 5 or 6. Will block it. A sword will add 1 to his strength. And I think that's all you can buy. So you know what? He is going to buy the armor. That is really good protection. And basically 50-50 chance anytime you lose. So he's going to move back here. He's going to spend $4. So he doesn't have any money for the mercenary. But he doesn't need the mercenary yet. And he's going to get the armor. So he's going to axe and armor now. And he's feeling really good about things. Let's go back to the priest. Priest rolls 1. So he can go fight the ogre? Nope. He's going to go to the fields. He is very strength challenged. Let's see what happens with the priest. Marsh. The marsh will remain here for the rest of the game. Whenever you land here, if your strength is less than 5, you must miss 1 turn. So you're stuck in the marsh if you land there. Now, he doesn't have to... He doesn't... it only takes effect once you move back to it, not right now. So the priest will just be done. Let's go to the warrior. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can draw a card. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can draw 2 cards. He's going to go back here. He's hoping for lots of strength because strength fights he will dominate with. So we have 1, which is a helmet, and 2, which is a potion of strength. Now, you can only carry 4 items. He has 2. So when you drink the potion, it will increase your strength by 2. Once you drink it, you discard it. And then, of course, the helmet will help protect himself. So we're running our room with all his items. Good Lord. That's why you don't normally put this in the middle of the board. But for right now, I'll just do that. It'd be okay because we're not going to use the middle. Usually, you're going to spend half an hour to an hour on the outside area building your character up. Then you're going to, once you think you're strong enough, you start making it maybe into the middle board. Hopefully you find a talisman, and then you can start entering into the center board when you think, the kind of the rule of thumb is to have like about a 9 or 10 strength to fight the Sentinel to go over. And then you want to have 9 to 10 strength to get through the door. I mean, the warrior could, if it was all strength, he does have all of his health, could make a push maybe. If he had some money, he could use the mercenary, but he's got 4 strength, 5 strength, 6 strength. Plus, he could use the potion for another 2 strength. That would be 8 strength. If he had a buck, he could be 9, 10, he could be 11 strength. But he doesn't have that constantly. So he would, have to still build up a little bit. But he's getting there. He's getting there pretty quickly, actually. Whose turn is it? God damn it. It's the priest's turn. That's whose turn it is. 5. So he can end up at the tavern. Or back in the Craigs, because he has the guide, he doesn't have to roll, and there's usually bad things that happen there. You can be ambushed, you can lose a turn, you're safe, nothing happens, and you can gain 1 strength. So these are the things that can happen in the Craigs. He doesn't like any of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, before he does that, he has to think, well, is this guy going to come over and try to beat me up? Do I have anything he can take? He doesn't really have anything for him to take. He could try to kill him off, right? But, I mean, the priest can probably heal up just as fast as the guy could try to kill him. So, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He'll go to the tavern and roll a die in the tavern. 2. That's usually bad. Get tipsy and fight a farmer with a strength of 3. So he's got to fight a farmer with a strength of 3. So the priest rolls a 1, and the farmer rolls a 1. So the priest doesn't want to lose a life, because if he loses a fight, you lose a life. So he's going to spend another one of his fate to re-roll. 6. So 6 plus 2 is 8. The farmer had a strength of 3, plus 1 is 4. He defeats the farmer. He doesn't get anything for it, but that's what you get for getting tipsy at the bar with the farmer. All right, warrior. 1, he can go to the plains or the fields. He'll go to the plains and draw a card. Market day. It's market day across the land, clockwise, starting with yourself. All characters may immediately buy anything available objects at these prices. A sword costs 1, a shield costs 2, a helmet costs 1, a water bottle costs 1, a mule costs 2, and a raft costs 3. And then market day packs itself up and is discarded. So, starting with the warrior, but he has no money, so he can't do anything. The priest could. He's got $2. Is there anything he's interested in buying? Could buy his shield, a helmet, a sword, a water bottle, or a mule. Now, a mule will let him keep extra objects. Right now, he doesn't have enough objects. I think Market Day is just going to go away and nobody's going to buy anything. Look at that. All right, warrior's turn. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Woods or the plains. He'll come over here to the plains and draw a card. Dragon of strength is 7. A fearsome dragon is terrorizing the area and will remain here until it's killed. All right. The warrior. Damn, now he wishes he had his... he's going to fight a dragon. All right. He will... Damn. Does he want to use his potion of strength? Let's see. He's 4, 5, 6. It would only make him 8 with this. Yes, he's going to spend his... He's going to use this to get +2 to his strength. So he's got 4, plus an axe is 5, plus the unicorn is 6, and +2 for the strength potion takes him to 8. So the warrior will be 8. +4. 8 plus 4. The dragon is 7. +1 is 8. So it is, what did I say? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 versus 8. The warrior has defeated the dragon. 12 to 8. And he takes this as a trophy, but the most important thing is this has a strength of 7, which means he can immediately turn this in to the discard pile to gain 1 point of strength. Because he has 7 points worth of strength value. So that's why he wanted to drink the potion, because the potion allowed him to get enough to kill the dragon so he can get another point of strength. All right. Good for him. Let's see what happens with the old priest here. Let's see what the priest can do. 6. So he's going to be back to the village or back to the city. Yep, I think he's going to come down here to the village. And he's going to visit the mystic. Let's see what he can do with the mystic. 6. That sounds good. He's going to gain 1 spell. Now, spells are a little bit different in that you have to have enough strength or have enough craft to cast them or to get them. And again, I think it's to have 1 spell, you have to have at least 2 craft. To get 2 spells, you have to have at least 4 craft. And to get 3 spells, you have to have at least 6 craft. He has 5 craft, so he only has 1 spell. So he can actually get another spell. And let's see what he gets. I'm keeping it hidden from you guys, so it's a big surprise. Okay. So that was his turn. That was good. He's got another spell now. Back to the warrior. What are you going to do, Mr. Warrior Man? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can go to the woods. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can. Oh, he's going to come back over here to the ruins and draw 2 cards. So this time it is a fairy and a Solomon's Crown magic object. Fairy. The fairy, so he has to encounter the fairy first before he can do anything else. So the fairy is a stranger. A fairy seeks a champion To the first good character landing here, she will grant one of the following wishes of their choice. Then she will vanish to the discard pile. Gain a spell, gain a gold, gain strength, gain craft, gain life, or fate, or teleport to any other space in this region. Well, he will gain another strength. So the fairy then flies away after granting him his wish, because he is a good character. If he was neutral or evil, the fairy would just sit right there. And then Solomon's crown, he will take Solomon's crown because that will add 2 to his craft. So, and that is his 4th item. So he won't be able to get any more items unless he drops something. But plus 2 to his craft will help his crappy craft. Well, the priest would really like to take that from him. 2. 1, 2. Oh, graveyard, not good. Forest, not good. He'll have to roll. You know what? Because he has a guide, is choosing not to roll in the forest. The guide will guide him through the forest. All right, back to the warrior. 5. Fields. To the plains. Yeah, we'll go over there to the plains and draw a card. Wild boar, strength of 1. Okay, this is an auto kill because he has 6, 7, 8 strength. The boar has 1, so there's no way the boar can win, so he will just automatically kill the boar. He now has 4 strength points. He's almost got enough to get another strength. All right, back over to the priests. 3. Fields. He'll come to this fields. He is got a talisman. Dun, 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 dun. Now he's got to really be careful because this guy's going to need a talisman to make it in. And he knows he can defeat him. So the warrior is probably going to be coming over pestering the priest to steal his talisman. Because like I said, they're not super rare, but they're not super common either. So when you can get your hands on one, you got to do what you got to do. Warrior's turn. 3. He'll go to the tavern and roll on the tavern chart. 3 is... What does it say? Gamble and lose 1 gold. Well, he has no gold, so he doesn't have to worry. So he gambles a little bit with some gold he doesn't have. And that's it. So the priest... 1, 2, 3, 4... And yeah, he's 1, 2, 3, 4. He wants to stay away from that warrior as far as he can. And he will draw a card. Fountain of Wisdom. Place a total of 4 craft here when revealed. You may drink from the fountain once per visit and take 1 craft from the fountain to add to your own craft when all 4 have been taken. So we're going to put 4 craft. If I can grab 4 craft, that would be great. On here. Well, 1, 2, 3. Come here, mister. 4. And since he will encounter it, he will take 1 for himself. So he's very crafty. He needs to get his strength up a little bit so he doesn't get killed by some random monsters, but he's good with the craft. Very crafty. All right, over to the warrior. 2. He will draw 2 cards. The Enchanter and the dragon. Well, we have to encounter the dragon again first. So, because it's got the lower number, it's a strength of 7. So the warrior has a strength of 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. Again, he doesn't have any money, but he does get 2 dice. 8 plus 5 should be pretty good for the warrior. The dragon has a strength of 7, and 3 is 10. And he has 8 plus 5 is 13. So 13 versus 10. He's going to kill another dragon. He would get to keep it, but he will do that at the end of the turn. I think you have to do it at the end of your turn. Now he will look at the Enchanter. An Enchanter seeks an able adventurer. To the first character landing here with a craft of 4 or more, he will gain one of the following wishes of his choice. Oh, so he's not... yeah. So he's going to not be able to do that because he doesn't have a... yes, he does actually have a craft of 4 or higher. Sorry, wait a minute. He's got the Solomon's Crown, which gives him +2. +2 is 4. So the first character landing here with the craft of 4 or more will grant one of the following wishes. Gain a spell, a gold, strength, craft, life, or fate, or teleport to any space. He is going to... He is going to gain a craft. And the Enchanter goes away. And then at the end of his turn, he is going to turn in the dragon. 7 points of strength for another strength point. So the warrior went up 1 in strength and 1 in craft in 1 turn. That is huge. He now has a strength of 2, 4, 6, 7. Plus the axe is 8. Plus the unicorn is 9. Oh, I keep forgetting the unicorn gives him +1 to his craft as well. And he has 3, 4, 5, 6 craft. He is pretty tough, actually, the warrior. Plus, he's got some defensives as well. He's got a helmet, armor. Jeez. So the priest, his turn. He's got to watch out. He's got that talisman. Rolls a 1, so he will... Does he want to go back here? So he can heal up, but he's at his full life value. So he's going to go here and draw a card. Hobgoblin, strength of 3, so he must fight the Hobgoblin. He does not have any bonuses either. Oof. So, he rolls a 6, fortunately. The Hobgoblin rolls a 1. So the Hobgoblin is 3, plus 1 is 4. He is 6, plus 2 is 8. 8 versus 4. He defeats the Hobgoblin and takes him as a trophy. Now, does he have enough to gain a strength? He has 3, 6, 7, 8. So he could wait to try and get something a little bit closer to 7. But he's going to turn in all 8 points. 3, 6, 7, 8. And gain 1 strength. Because he needs that strength. So his strength is up. So good for him. Defeats the Hobgoblin. Let's see what the warrior can do now. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's going to come over here to the fields and have an encounter. Let's see what the encounter is. Book of Spells. You found the fabled Book of Spells. You gain your full complement of spells according to your current craft. The book then vanishes to the discard pile. Let's look up the rule on the old crafting again. And spells. Just so I can refresh my memories. Craft. Determines how many spells he may have on page 13. Let's look at page 13. There it is. Total craft. Oh, I was completely wrong. Completely wrong. Your total craft, if it's 1, you get 0 spells. 2 is 0. 3 is 1. 4 is 2. 5 is 2. 6 or more is 3. So he has a total craft of 3, 4, 5, 6. Because the unicorn and the Solomon's command. So he's going to gain 3 spells. Wow. This is getting out of hand. Mr. Warrior Man is... Whoosh. He's going to have 3 spells. Plus, he's got quite a assortment. He's pretty powerful. He could, at this point, start coming in the middle board. And if he had a talisman, he could make a push towards the middle to try and end this. So let's see what 3 spells he's going to get. 1, 2, 3. All right. Okay. Okay. So he has his spells. All right, he's going to prep one of his spells. And it's now the priest's turn. And the priest is going to try to roll for his movement. But then at that point, the warrior says, oh, hang on a second. I'm casting a spell. He's going to cast immobility on the priest. At the start of the character's turn before he moves, if casting a character is immobilized, may do nothing apart from negating this spell with a counter spell for the duration of that turn. So you can't do anything other than counterspell it. Does the priest have a counterspell to counterspell it? He chooses not to. And so he is stuck right there. And so now it goes back to the warrior's turn. The warrior's like, 1, 2, 3. I need to get over there. 3, 3, 3. No, it's a 1. Ugh. He doesn't want to go to the graveyard because he'll lose a life. He will go back to the town and talk with the mystic. I think it's the mystic over there. Yeah, the mystic. 3. He's ignored by the mystic, so nothing happens. Back to the priest. Now the priest is going to move. He would like a 1 so he can land there and get some more craft. No, he gets a 2. So he can go to the graveyard or back. Oh, he's going to go here. And he would heal up all of his life for free. Or pray. Well, he doesn't need to any life, so he'll pray. And he gets a 1, which is he's ignored again. Unfortunately for him. And it's back to the warrior. 2. Ugh, graveyard again. Ugh. Screw it, he says. I'm going there. He's going to lose a life. Life is too valuable. You know what? He's going to say, I'll go back to the forest, roll in the forest. Let's see. 6. That's actually probably good. A ranger guides you out, gain 1 craft. Oh my god. This warrior is insane. Oof. So right now he's got 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 strength. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 craft. That's pretty good stats, by the way. All right, come on now. The priest, you need a 1, priest. 1! He'll go there and he'll gain another craft. Even though he knows he's close to the warrior, but it's too valuable. All right. Warrior, we'll go back here. He will talk to the mystic again. The mystic says gain a spell. So he would only gain a spell if he can. He only has 2 spells, so he can gain a spell. And he's going to do the same thing. He's going to cast this on the priest. Another immobilization spell. So the priest loses his turn. He can't go anywhere. So back to the warrior. 1, 2, 3, 4. He will draw a card. Shadow. Craft of 2. Alright. Now, you may roll 2 dice in battle. Doesn't say strength combat. It says battle. So I guess you can use craft. 2, 2, 4, 6, 7. Plus 6. The shadow is a 2. Plus 2 is 4. He destroys the shadow. And we'll put his... We got 2 strength and now a craft. Put him over there, I guess. Alright. So, priest 5. He's going to go to the woods. Craft of 5, a wraith. Now, interesting. Remember the priest special ability. This is a spirit. You may choose to automatically destroy any spirit without resorting to psychic combat. When you destroy a spirit in this manner, you may not keep the enemy as a trophy, but you may gain a spell. He's got plenty to gain 3 spells. He is going to automatically kill it. And he is going to gain another spell. Okay. All right, so the warrior's turn. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. It's gonna go to the Craigs. Roll on the Craigs. 6. Unbelievable. This is unbelievable. A barbarian leads you out, gain 1 strength. So we were out of strength points, so we're going to turn in for a big one. I hate their little strength counters here. I'm going to have to find another game that uses tokens because I don't like these at all. So he's up to 5, 6, 7, 8 strength now. Plus axe, plus unicorn. So, priest turn. 3. 1, 2, 3. He's going to go to the fields, but... Wait a minute. Oh, before you move. 1, 2, 3. So he's gonna cast a spell. Mesmerize. Cast at the start of your turn before you move. Take 1 Fowler of your choice from any character. Well, guess what? He's going to take the unicorn. Gives him +1 strength and +1 craft now. How do you like them apples? He says. Now he'll move. 1, 2, 3. He'll go to the fields. Mage. A kindly mage has made his home here for the rest of the game. He will give 1 spell per visit for each good character landing here, if their craft allows. So he will remain there, and he has enough craft to gain another spell. Good thing he cast that last one. All right. Right. Oh, I should have done that. Have to remember that for next time. All right. Warrior's turn. Warrior's turn. 3. He will go 1, 2, 3, land here. Yes, he will take a craft. Wow. The priest will then cast a spell. Alright, he's going to cast Teleport. Cast on yourself instead of rolling a die for movement. Teleport to any space on the same region. The spell cannot be cast in the inner region, which is, I think it's all of this area. No, this is the inner region, right? This is the inner, this is the middle, and this is the outer. Okay, so it's just that area. Anyways, he's going to cast it on himself. He's going to cast and teleport here. And he's going to not encounter this guy. Ooh. Does he want to encounter that guy? Let me think about this. Let me think. If we do a craft combat, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 versus 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. Plus he would get to roll 2 dice too. And that damn Solomon's crown. Nope, I think he will encounter the area after he casts his spell. And he will take the last craft. And then this goes away. So he knows that the warrior can't land on him because you have to at least roll to move. So you can't roll a 0. Unless, of course, he's got some kind of tricky spell that'll let him... Come here, you. Come here. Do something crazy. All right, the warrior will move or roll for move 1, but he's going to cast Hex. He's going to put a Hex on that spot. So basically that will last for 3 turns. I'm just going to get out 3 little chips. And anybody that lands in that space will automatically lose 1 life. So he's going to prevent the priest from going back and just spamming spell after spell after spell. Or try to anyways. Alright, and now he rolled a 1, so he will move there and draw a card. Spectre, 3 of craft. Okay, well, let's see, he's at 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus 6. is 13. It's an auto win because this guy can't win. He's only got a 3. So he's up to 5 craft there. Ooh, the priest turn. Oh, and one of these little shenanigans come off. Priest 3. Graveyard of the Craigs. Boy, neither one of these is very good. Lose a life. No, he's going to go to the Craigs. Oh, he's got the guide. Right. So you do not need to roll in the Craigs or the Chasm or the Forest. So he's going to choose not to roll. He could roll a 6 and get a +1, but he's only got a 1 in 6 chance. He doesn't want to risk it. So no, he's not going to. All right, Warrior's turn. Rolls a 1. He will go to the hills and draw a card. Sorcerer. Sorcerer set up shop here or remain here for the rest of the game. He sells spells at a price of 1 gold per spell, but only to those whose craft allows. You may only buy 1 spell. So buy a spell here or here. Holy cow. The priest is thinking, man, if I could just spam these spells out, maybe I can keep Mr. Warrior Man from killing me. All right, to priest turn 3. You come back here. You can encounter the sorcerer. He has gold. So he is going to cast a spell before he moves. Or does he not want to yet? No, he doesn't want to do that yet. So he's just going to move 1, 2, 3. Again, now it's more interesting. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 craft. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he's got a +2 advantage, but the warrior gets a +2. He could try to steal this from him. That would really hamper the warrior's craft. That +2 is huge. There's not many cards in the game that give you +2 to anything. Or you get another spell. You know what? He's got a +2. Plus he's got a rerolls. He's got 3 rerolls. He's got 3 tokens. You know what? He's going to go after he's going to go after the warrior with craft. So it's going to be a hell of a battle. Here we go. So, priest, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 with the unicorn. Nine. So he gets a die. 9 plus a die. 5. Ooh, he likes that. So that is 14. The warrior. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No. Wow. So he's got a 7. He gets 2 dice. And 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 14 versus 12. They rolled the same die. So he beat him by 2. So even if he re-rolled and got a 6, it wouldn't matter. So he loses the fight. So the priest can now decide. He can take one of his life, or he can take one of his objects. He is definitely going to take this. The priest has come in and stolen Solomon's crown. That's +2 to craft. That's huge because now 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. He's got 11 craft versus 2, 4, 5 craft. So he's way better. But again, if the warrior attacks him, he can use the strength and he's got the advantage. So, but he got a very, very nice item, and so he's happy with that. All right, so it's over to Mr. Warrior here. Let's see what the warrior does. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fields. Plains. He's going to go to the plains and draw a card. Siren. It's an event. The siren song can be heard throughout the region. All characters in this region must miss one turn. The siren song then fades to the discard pile. So again, we're only playing without a lot of the expansions. So everyone's going to miss a turn, and then we're just going to get right back to, so he misses a turn, then he misses a turn. So back over to the, so I'm thinking of something here. Oh, we forgot. So that would have been, yeah, so this is gone and the hex is gone now. So the hex is all gone. So the priest will drop a die. This turned out to be quite an interesting little battle going on here between the priest and the warrior. The priest 6. So you can go to the fields or go fight. He's not going to go fight the ogre. He's going to go way over here to the fields and draw a card. Wand, magic object. You may always have at least one spell if your craft allows. Gain a spell each time. Oh, so he should be casting spells every single turn because he can always have a spell. So let's see. He's got 1, 2 objects, 3 objects. So he's fine with objects. Warrior. Oh, wait. Is the warrior going to cast anything? Let me see. Oh, yeah, that's a bummer. All right, he will just roll 1. I go to the woods and draw a card, and he finally gets some money. It is 1 bag of gold, which is good. So now he can activate his mercenary to get that +3 if he needs it. Back over to the priest. 3. Nope. 1, 2, 3. He's going to go there and draw 2 cards. Wild Boar. And the Holy Lance. It's a weapon, but the priest can't use weapons. But let's see. He's got to fight through the boar first. He has a strength of 1, 2, 3. 4 because of the unicorn. So 4 plus 4 is 8. The boar has a strength of 1 plus 1 is dead. And where did he not? He must have turned these in, right? Okay, so he's got 1 craft and 1 strength. The Holy Lance. No evil character may have the Holy Lance. Add 1 to your strength during battle. Add 3 to your strength during battles against dragons. Well, he will carry this. He can take it with him as long as he's got room. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's got 4 objects, which is fine. Put these together. And then he'll put his 2 followers together, a unicorn and a guide. He can carry it, he just can't use it in battle. Doesn't say anything about you're forbidden from carrying it or anything like that. It just says you may not use any weapon during battle. This is a weapon. He can't use it, but he can carry it and keep it away from. He could leave it there, but so yeah. All right, over to the warrior. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we'll go back over here. Draw a card. Amulets, magic object. You cannot cast spells, including the command spell. No spells will affect you other than the command spell. Yes, he will love this. Thank you. So no other spells he can't cast spells, but no spells are going to harm him. 1, 2, 3. He's got 4 objects. He's okay. And that's his turn. Over to the priest. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The graveyard. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, he could land. Oh. Amulet is not going to help him. He doesn't need an axe, an armor, or a helmet. I mean, he'd like to have them, but he doesn't have room for them right now. Well, Okay, he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's going to land in the graveyard, lose a life. He's going to cast Preservation. Cast is required on any character, follower, or enemy. It prevents a character from losing a life or a follower from being killed. When cast on an enemy, it prevents it from being killed, and the attack is considered a standoff. So he casts it on himself so he doesn't have to lose a life. Might as well, like I said, cast spells all the time since he's got this wand now. And so he ended up in the graveyard and nothing will happen. Right? Right. The warrior. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He'll come back to the plains. Draw a card. 2 bags of gold. So now he's starting to get the money back, and that's what he needed. Get the money so he can activate the mercenary. Priest. Six. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The Craigs. I guess he goes back to the ruins and draws 2 more cards. A raft. He needs a raft. And money. So he can... they're both 5, so you can get them in any order he wants. On your next turn, instead of your normal move, you may choose to cross the river to a space directly opposite the one you are in. Whether you cross or not, place the raft on the discard pile, as it cannot be carried with you, and the bag of gold. So he needs... what's he going to do? He needs spot. He needs a spot. Well, he's going to drop the Holy Lance there and get the raft and then the bag of gold, which will be turned in for 1 gold. Warrior's turn. 6. He's going to come this way to the woods. Goblin. He's got a strength of 2, which will be an auto kill. Let's see how much he's got. 3, 4, 5, 6. He's an auto kill. He's got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Versus the goblin's 2. So he beats him by 7. So there's no way for the goblin to win. So, that's the warrior's turn. Now, the priest will use the raft and go across into that area. And he will have to draw a card. So we just draw a card. Okay. Goblin, a strength of 2. Now, does he have enough to just auto kill him? I don't think so, actually. He's only got a strength of 1, 2, 3, 4 because of the unicorn. So he will have to fight the goblin. 4 plus 4 is 8. The goblin is a 2. So if he rolls a 6, it'll be a push. He does! That's fine. He will just leave the goblin in that space then. He doesn't need it. That's fine. Warrior. The warrior's thinking now, oh, I'm going to have to go. Does he want to go after the lance? What was the lance again? No evil character may hold it. Add 1 to your strength. Or +1. Or +3 versus dragons. Let's see what he rolls. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh. Or he can try to come across. 1, 2. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 6. He can end up over there. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He could end up over here at the Royal Doctor. I think he's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's going to draw a card there in the plains. A gnome. It's a Fowler. You need only roll 1 die when opening the portal of power by craft and 2 dice in the mines. You do not roll the die in the crags unless you wish to. If you choose to roll, you must accept the results. And you may evade creatures and characters in the hills. So he is a great little Fowler to have along with you. All right, Mr. Mystic. Oh, 1. He's going to the temple because his special ability is... When rolling the die while praying, you may add 1 to the score. So he's going to pray. He's going to roll 2 dice and add 1 because of his special ability. Ugh. 4, 5, 6 plus 1 would be a 7. Gain 1 craft. Or he could re-roll this 2 and try to get something better, and I think he will re-roll that. Re-roll the 2, so the 4 counts. Ha! 4 plus 1 is 5. Plus 1 is 6. That's not as good. Well, I mean, it's good for him. Gain 1 strength. So that was pretty good all around. All right, Mr. Warrior. One. Well, he's going to pick this up and get rid of this stupid helmet you don't need. Put that, he's going to drop that helmet. Priest. 2. Uh-oh. Ruins, draw a card. Do not draw a card if there's already one card here. Any creature that you fight adds 2 to their attack rolls. Or you can go into the 1-2 over there is the Oasis. Draw 2 cards. If there are any cards here in this space, draw only enough to take the total of 2-2. And I think he's going to stay over here. He doesn't want to draw too many cards because his strength is not great, to be honest. So let's just draw a card. It's a mule. Mule can carry an extra 4 objects for you. If you use the mule, any surplus objects will stay in their space. So he can now carry a whole ton of things. That's his turn. Warrior. 5. 1, 2. Go into the fields. Magical Vortex. The Magical Vortex absorbs all spells from every character. Each character's spells and the Magic Vortex must be placed immediately on their discard pile. So spells go away from the Magic Vortex and goes in the discard pile. And the wand for the priest says you may always have at least 1 spell if your craft allows. Gain 1 spell each time you cast your last spell. So he will immediately get a spell back, I believe, because of the wand. Okay. So that was the warrior's turn. It's now the priest's turn, and he will cast a spell, which is teleport again. And he's going to teleport right back to the temple, because that is his spot. So again, 2 dice plus 1, because he's the priest. 9 plus 1 is 10. Gain a talisman. Wait a minute. When rolling a die when praying, you may add 1 to the score. So you could take the 9, actually. The 9 is... Oh. Gain a spell. You know what? He is actually going to take the talisman. So he's got 2 of them. So even if Mr. Warrior Man comes and steals this talisman, he'll still have a backup for it. That's a pretty good plan. I like that plan. Crazy. All right, Warrior, what are you doing? 3. 1, 2, 3. Draw a card there. Shield. You can't... yeah, I can... Yeah. He will just leave the shield in that because he doesn't need it. Over to the the priest gets a spell because he's got the wand. That's super helpful, isn't it? You will definitely. Oh, Jesus. Shuffle these up a little bit since I. Alright, so the priest's turn. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. He does not need to go to the Warlock's Cave. So that was another option. You can go to the Warlock. He will give you a quest, and then your reward will be a talisman, I believe. When you complete the quest, the Warlock immediately teleports you back here and gives you a talisman, if available, as your reward. So yes, that's where you have this certain number of talismans out of the game. There's 4 of them. One's here and the other 3 are here. So if you complete the Warlock quest, he will also give you a talisman. Yes, so he can either go here or 1, 2, 3. He's going to go, I guess he's going to go here. Have to move the dice. The dice say draw a card. Hermit. Roll a die and place the hermit on the indicated space. 4 is the Oasis, actually. Okay, he's on the Oasis. He will give the first character to visit him a talisman, if available, and then vanish. Ha! Interesting. Okay. So we just talked, talisman's rare. We had 3 plays in a row where a talisman from the temple, the Warlock Cave, and now the Hermit. So sometimes they're not as rare. We'll see. So now, Mr. Warrior. All right, he's going to cross the bridge. He's going to fight the Sentinel, which is a strength of 9. He has a strength of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And he does get to roll 2 dice. So he only beats him by 1. But he does get to roll 2 dice. Is that enough? You know what? He is going to spend the buck to activate the mercenary to get a plus 3. To his strength. So it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 13. He definitely wants to get across. So 13 plus 5 is... 13 plus 5 is 18. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Plus 5 is 18. Yeah, so the Sentinel can't win. It's an auto win. So he gets by the Sentinel. 1. He rolled a 3. 2, 3. He doesn't want to go here. Pay a gold or lose a life. He's going to come over here. Draw a card. And the creatures add plus 2 if they have to fight him. Pool of life. Place a total of 4 life on here. Life is green, dummy. Place to draw 4 life here. You may bathe in the pool once per visit and take 1 life from the pool and add it to your own. When all 4 life takes drain. Okay, so the warrior will bathe in the light and gain a life. So there you go. Alright, I think that's a pretty good intro to the game. I think, you know, at this point, both the characters are pretty powerful. It's just a matter of pushing your luck and trying to maybe go into the middle area. You know, Priest is still a little weak with strength, but you could use the craft path to try and get over there. So let's, I guess, well, you know what? Let's go ahead and just let's just show you what would happen. All right. So it's that was the warrior's turn. It's the priest's turn. He's gonna, it doesn't matter because he's gonna try to enter. And you can, once you enter the middle region, you can only go 1 space at a time. So let's see if we can move some of this stuff out of the way. Okay. So he would, first thing, Portal of Valor. You must use craft to pick the lock or strength to force it open. Choose your ability and roll 2 dice. If the roll is equal to or less than your chosen ability, move to the plains of peril. If it's higher, remain here and lose 1 from that ability. So he has an ability of 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, craft, 11. So unless he rolls a 12, he should be fine. Oh, there's already a dice in there, which I didn't see. And he's fine. So he can move in there. Boom. Then, as we talked about, just going to go ahead and move all this stuff out of the way. Of course, you wouldn't have these in the middle of the board anyways. Alright, so now it's the warrior's turn. He has to move 2. 1, 2. Draw a card. Cross. If you are evil, you do not lose a life in the chapel. If you are good, you do not lose a life in the graveyard. If you choose to automatically destroy any spirits without resorting to psychic combat, spirits destroyed in this manner can't be kept as... Okay, so... he, I don't believe, has enough room to carry anything anyways. 1, 2, 3... 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, so he doesn't have any room. He doesn't have anything to help him carry anything. So he will just drop the cross and leave it there. So the mystic or the priest and then choose to go either down the strength path, right? Or the craft path. So he's going to go there. Roll 3 dice. Subtract your craft from the total and move directly to that place. So you want to roll low in this case. His craft is a bunch. What did we say? It was 11, right? So he wants to roll 11 or less. He does have some rerolls if need be. Wow. That is 11. Let's calculate up just to make sure. He's got 2, 4, 6, 8. 9 because of the unicorn. 10, 11 because of the crowd. So 11 minus 11 is 0, so he will stay in the mines. Otherwise, it might have sent you back somewhere else. So he is one step closer. The warrior needs to get in there and stop him and try to. He doesn't have a talisman yet. Somebody was going to give him a talisman. Who was the one that was going to give him a talisman? Right, he needs to go see the hermit. Two, because he's not going to catch up to this guy to steal his talisman. So 1, 2, he's going to go back here. He's going to gain another life, actually, which is nice. Now, this guy, again, when you're in the middle, you don't roll. You just move one space. He goes to the vampire's tower. Roll a die to determine how many lives the vampire takes. You may discard any number of flowers to avoid this life loss. Each flower you discard prevents the loss of 1 life. So we're going to roll a die. We want to roll low in this case. That is a 1. So you would lose 1 life. Or, again, you could discard a flower. He will discard the guide, which will die. What's his spell? Right. Alright, so let's... Oh. Right. Ooh, that could be interesting. Yes, he will discard the guide. So now it's up to the warrior's turn. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he will end there. Is a desert. Ugh. Lose a life and draw a card, which is fine. He's got plenty of life. Draw a card. Phantom. The Phantom will haunt this space until it is granted the first evil character to visit it one of the following wishes. Blah, blah, blah. He's not evil, so he can't do that. And now it's to the priest. The priest. Fight the pit fiends. Roll 1 die. And fight that many pit fiends with a strength of 4. Each one by one, until either you are defeated or you have defeated all of the pit fiends. You may move on the turn after all pit fiends are destroyed. Alright, so you want to roll low again. He will re-roll that. Oh my god. So he has got 6 pit fiends he needs to defeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Guess he shouldn't have wasted his thing. They each have a strength of 4. He also has a strength of... Let's see what his strength is. Unfortunately, he has to use strength on this one. It's got +1 because of the unicorn. Yep, just so it's 5 versus 4. So the first one, he rolls a 5. The pit fiend rolls a 4. So he beats the pit fiend, defeats it. Second one. 5 plus 4 is 9. The pit fiend rolls. 4 plus 3 is 7. He defeats the second one. The third one. 1. Pit fiend. 5. So 5 plus 4 is 9. He's got a 5. He would have to roll a 5 or higher on a reroll. He hates to do it, but he will lose his life, and then he will just have to fight the rest later next turn. All right, that gives the warrior time. Warrior needs a 1 so he can land with the hermit. 1, 2, 3. I guess he's going to land over here and roll 2 dice. That is a 5. He doesn't get any bonuses either. 5. Ugh, I can't read it sideways. Let me see what it says. Where are you? Here. Enslaved. Stay here until you roll a 4, 5, or 6 for your move. Okay, so he's been enslaved at the temple. He's got to stay there until he rolls a 4, 5, or 6. Okay. Back to the priest. He just doesn't get to go anywhere. He's got to fight the next one. He rolls a 4. The Pit Fiend rolls a 3, so he defeats it. Next one. Oh. That is a 5 plus 1 is 6. The Pit Fiend is also 6, so it's a push, so nothing happens. He will not lose anything, but he's slowed down again. All right, now the warrior needs to roll 4, 5, or 6. Rolls a 5. 5. Ugh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sure. We'll move over there and draw a card. Poltergeist. The poltergeist was attached itself to you. You must take it as a follower. Its only effect is to slow your movement to 1 space per turn. You can only rid yourself of it by crossing the river, either by bridge, raft, or ferry. You may then discard it. Oh my gosh. So you can only move 1 spot per turn. Well, I mean, that's not great. Ugh. Alright, well, back to the priest. Priest attacks. 3. The Pit Fiend, 4. That's 8 versus 8, so that's another push.
Tomorrow's trash day.
Yeah, I know.
There's a bag in the refrigerator. Can you throw that away?
Yes. I think he will have to. He can only go 1 space because of the stupid poltergeist. I guess we'll go here. This is gonna take. He's got to go here, then here, then here. Then he can get the talisman. Then he's got to go here, 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 here. It's going to take him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 turns to get over there. I told you. I told you. All right. Let's see. He's going to roll the die for the warlock. Can't even roll the 6. Deliver 2 gold. Okay. He will deliver 2 gold. When you complete the quest, the warlock immediately teleports you back here and gives you a talisman, if available, as your reward. he discarded 2 gold, completed the quest. He would have been teleported back there. But now he's actually given a talisman. And he will have to get rid of the amulet. The amulet's going to be pretty worthless here in a second anyways. So he now has a talisman. It's a race. It's a race. Unfortunately, he can't go very fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's the same way either way. It's a question. Well, he might as well come this way and grab some life. He doesn't need to go to the hermit now. Although he'll lose a life if he comes this way. We'll see. It's probably not going to matter. Priest has to fight this guy again. 5 for the priest. Oh, it's a push again. All right. He will move 1 space and move here. He'll encounter. Oh, hang on a second. Lose a life, then draw a card. He doesn't need to draw a card because the Phantom, but he does lose a life. So the question is, yeah, that's fine. He will lose a life. You know what? He will have one of his followers take the brunt of this. He's got the mercenary and the gnome. Yeah, the mercenary's going because he's got no gold anyways. So, mercenary will die for the cause. All right, back to the priest. Priest rolls a 5, 5, and that's a kill this time. So he finally killed that guy. Ooh, 6. That's an auto kill. Doesn't matter. He still wins. So last one. Oh, he rolls a 1. Oh, he wins because it's both 1s. So next turn he can move there. And then the next turn he'll go to the Crown of Command. Oh boy. All right. He will move here. You will give the first character to visit him a talisman. Yeah, you might as well. Just in case something happens. Hang on a second. Does he need... He needs... the axe, the armor, and the lance. Yeah, he'll keep everything. So this guy will actually go away and the talisman will be laying here on the ground? Crazy. Alright, the priest then moves here. You must have a talisman to enter. You can only enter if you have a talisman. If you do not have one, you must turn back. The Crown of Command can only be reached from this space. I don't think you don't draw anything. I think it just, you move there and you prepare. Then he will move here. We'll lose a life. Then draw a card. 2 gold. Unbelievable. Maybe you should have kept the mercenary now. Damn. Alright, he's now on the Crown of Command. And I think he automatically starts casting his spell. Right? Okay, I believe he doesn't get to do anything other than move up there. You must begin your turn on there. So he's done. He will go to the temple and roll 2 dice to pray. Blah. 7. 7. Gain 1 craft. Well, maybe a little bit too late. Who knows? All right, he will now cast a spell. On a 4, 5, or 6, all other characters take 1 life. 6. He's down to 4. He will move only 1 again. He will fight this guy. It'll be an auto kill. Now, will that give him another strength point? Let's see. He's got some trophies here. Let's see how many he's got. 2, 4, 5, 6. No, that's craft. Damn. He's got 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, you can actually keep the wild boar. Go 3, a lion, and 2 goblins. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that'll gain him another strength point. Oops, that's not a strength. This one is a strength. So you can turn news in. Okay. All right. He doesn't move. He doesn't do anything other than roll a die. 5. It burns. It burns. He will move here. Crypt, roll 3 dice. Except for, what does that gnome give him? I think the gnome gives him some kind of a thing, doesn't it? This poltergeist killed any chance he had. That's too bad. But that's the way the game plays. You never know. What's the gnome say here? This is the crypt, right? You only need to roll 1 die when opening the portal of power by craft, and 2 dice in the mines. You do not need to roll a die in the crags. You may have bad creatures and in the hills. All right. Well, he doesn't. The gnome doesn't help. So we roll 3 dice. Ugh. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Subtract your strength from the total and move directly to... so he's got 9, 10 strength. He's got 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9... 10, 11. Oh, that's during battle. I don't know if this is considered a battle. Oh, that's for this space. This one is draw 1 card. Do not draw a card if there's already in the space any creature. Okay, so he just rolls or draws a card. A sword. I'll just leave it there. It's fine. All right, 4, 5, or 6. 1, so nothing, no damage. Let's see what this says. Royal Doctor. Heal up to your life value at the cost of 1 gold each. If you have the princess, heal up to 2 lives for free. You can spend 2 gold and get 2 life back. No. When you can no healing when somebody's at the crown. That's right. So you can ignore that. So nothing. All right, 4, 5, or 6. It burns. Ah! You better get in there quick. Draw a card. Mark it. Marker is set up here for the rest of the game. A sword, a helmet, a water bottle, a shield, a mule, and a raft. He would get his 2 gold back, at least. Alright, let's see if he casts it again. He burns! Oh no, 1 more and he's out. He's going to try to bust down the door. He is going to use the gnome at least. Where's the gnome? Where's the gnome? Where's the gnome? Where's the gnome? Where's his? Here's his cards. So what does this say? Open the portal of power. You only roll 1 die when using craft. He's got 2, 4, 6 crafts, so it doesn't matter. Oops. So he busts in. He's in. I think he's just a little bit too late. 1 more, and this could be it. No, he gets a chance. Well, he might as well go this way. Now this is where he rolls the 3 dice. 4, 5, 6, 7. He's got plenty of strength, so he's got a 0. So he stays at the crypt. All right. No damage. He'll move to death. All right, so he rolls 2 dice for death. 2 dice for himself. He has an 8. He needs to be, is it greater than death or less than death? Roll 2 dice for yourself and 2 dice for death. If the scores are equal, dice with death again on your next turn. If your score is lower, lose 1 life and dice with death again on your next turn. If your score is higher, you may move on your next turn. So he rolls an 8. You better hope death rolls lower than 8. It's equal. So he's got to do it again. And he doesn't lose the life. But he's going to lose the life here in a second when... No! He's got to do it again. He's got to fight with death. He rolls a 6. He better roll death. Rolls low. No! And death beats him and he loses a life and that's it. And the warrior is defeated by the priest there at the Crown of Command, and that's how Talisman is played. We got a whole game in, and with 2 characters, and how long did it take us? 2.5 hours. That's with tutorial and setup and everything. So, woof, crazy, but super good game. Lots of different characters to play with, lots of different add-ons, lots of different cards. Lots of different outcomes. And you can see what a different outcome. This one, I'm telling you, this poltergeist, if he wouldn't have had the poltergeist on him, right? He could have zipped over here, grabbed that talisman, zipped back over here, and then got up to the tower, and he could have started, because this guy only had 3 life, he could have tried to kill him pretty easily. So it would have been, that poltergeist, I cannot believe. That's the best thing about this game though is you get these where one, you're never sure what's going to happen. Every single turn matters. Every turn matters, and that's what makes it good. That's what makes it fun. So there you go. We'll have lots more Talisman coming up here. If you guys want to see more, let me know. And hopefully you enjoyed seeing this and trying it out. This is just the baby version without anything special. So when you start adding in all the expansions and all the other rules, like I said, there's special rules for how to handle things in the center area. So it's not always the same there. And why is all this stuff upside down? That I will never know. Setup and cleanup isn't too bad. So, just separate the cards by the backs of their, there. So lots of different characters, lots of different things to do, lots of ways, more characters you get in there to play with, the more interaction, the more expansions you have, the more areas there is. So, I mean, it's just exponentially gets bigger and bigger. So, I know we've been running for almost 3 hours, but we've got a full game in with tutorial on how to play and everything. I think that's pretty good time on that. With just 2 characters, though, it's obviously much funner when you have 3 or 4 characters running around all at the same time, because there's much more interaction that way, a lot more going on. But it's just a base tutorial game. I just wanted to show you the general flow and the general reaction of what happens. With just the expansions I probably have another 2 sets of these adventure cards, so you can see there's a lot more variety of things going on, a lot more monsters, and a lot more just treasures and creatures and fowlers, and you just, like I said, you never know what's going to happen. That poltergeist, wow, what a change. Just that one card, the way it changed the outcome of this game, just like that. Just like that. Alrighty, well, thank you all for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give us a thumbs up, a like, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Till then, guys, take care, and we'll see you later. Thanks for watching.